This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thidoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Let's do it on a Friday. Tito, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark with you. Shark about to have a whole life full of Fridays coming up here pretty soon.
This was supposed to be the 1 week from today. Or no.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today. It's supposed to be the 11th.
And then when they said you're going to work with Tito, he said, well, let's just look at the first.
Shorten
it a little bit.
Due to the beauty that is our government and how things operate, he was forced to retire early I mean, listen, Shark, you're a pretty healthy guy. You could have rolled the dice without insurance for a month.
Yeah, you could have.
You can retire on the first day of the month of your birthday.
Right.
So if you were born on the 31st, good for you.
So if you're born on the 1st like me, you just get shafted?
Yep. You got to work
Stiff
that
one
first
eye.
day.
We got a big show lined up for you today.
Bob, I don't ever see you retiring anyway.
Bobby's not going to retire.
Coach, I'm closer to retirement than I am.
Really?
Working.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Should I hit the breaking news sound?
I don't know.
I mean, there's a couple things that got to occur. And like I said, I'll keep doing this as long as I love who I'm doing it with. And, Shark, my love with you is so strong that when
July
you leave,
2nd.
You're retiring July 2nd.
I got to tell you, man, this gravy train's been pretty nice the last month and a half or so.
I told Fish, I was like, just take Shark's party and convert it to mine.
There you go. We are brought to you by Riverside Bank of Dublin, sponsoring Morning Juice here for you. We love that. Thank you to them. Big show lined up for you today. Bobby had Coach Locke. Can I call him Coach Locke?
I call him Los Locke, like Tone Loke.
Tone Loke. That's a good one there. But as a fan.
And he's 48, so it's perfect. That's like right in his wheelhouse.
That is, yes. That is right in his wheelhouse.
I was worried that the reference might be is it something he would get? And that's right in his wheelhouse.
I always call Tyvis by rap. I call him Ty Pac, or I call him T-Pain, something like that. I always do that with him too. So
T-Pain.
Yeah. We are 34 days until the Pro Football Hall of Fame game. We are 57 days until the first 4 college football games, 64 until OSU, Texas, 69 days until the start of the NFL. You guys are more excited than I am about all that. What happened last night? The Reds host the Padres tonight at 7:10. Guardians fall to the Blue Jays 6-1. Cardinals are in Cleveland tonight at 7:10. Bobby, are we going to try to set a record today or not?
Today isn't quite as beefy, I don't think, as it's been in the past.
Right.
But, some of it just depends on the day. I mean, some days records are meant to be broken. Other days they aren't.
So let's do the Today in History, and then we'll do the Lachlan sound in the next segment. Because you had Coach Locke, as I like to call him now, on the Bobby Carpenter Show with Anthony Schlegel. And we'll hear from him at around 6. I'll say 6:20, but hell, it could be 6:26 based on how we do this. Let's do this date in history.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
I said this date in history. I meant today in history, Bobby, but whatever it is, Sharks almost history. Take it away.
Sharks almost history. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
There we go. That's from Kung Fu Panda, I think.
It is. They say the present that off is where time touches eternity. That's C.S. Lewis. A little bit more profound than the Kung Fu Panda.
What did he write?
Oh, C.S. Lewis, he wrote a ton of stuff. He wrote all the Chronicles of Narnia books, but he's written a lot of other things. Very famous British author.
Okay.
Him and Tolkien were big time back in the day. This date is June 27th, Friday, the last Friday of the month, the 178th day of the year, 187 days remaining, and we are almost to that July 1st date. And on July 1st, we will be closer to 2050 than we will be to 2000. Shark, are you going to see 2050, you think?
No.
Why
not
not?
a chance.
Not a chance.
Well, I mean, I'd be 90.
Your mom's still
Yeah,
alive.
your mom's almost 90, right?
She's only 88, though.
She's still hanging in there.
She is.
She said she loved NKOTB, hanging tough. Some historical events. This day, 1895. The inaugural run of the Baltimore, Ohio Railroad's Royal Blue runs from D.C. to New York City. It is the first electric railroad to exist.
It's on the Monopoly board.
You know how much it cost?
B&O Railroad.
$200 on Monopoly.
There you go. Good job. This date, 1898, the first solo circumnavigation of the world is committed by Joshua Slocum. He finished in Nova Scotia, if I remember correctly. 1917, Hank Gowdy is the first Major League Baseball player to enter service during World War I. Wanted to fight the Brits the first time.
Kurt Gowdy's dad?
I have no idea.
Maybe.
Okay. I don't know.
But you know, is he local? Because there used to be Hank Gowdy Field right here in Grandview.
Yes. That's right, Shark.
That's a great question.
He is. Yeah, the field's named after him over there, yeah.
You know what? It's time. Do you have the Rothman Ice Sounder, A Deeper Dive?
What? I don't know that sound.
Don't worry about it. He's not a big fan of Rothman and Ice, I guess, if he doesn't remember the sound.
It's time for the biggest stories of the day deserve another look.
That's
It's time for A Deeper Dive.
Are you looking that up, or am I supposed to?
I'm joking.
I'm looking up Hank Gowdy.
Okay.
Look up Hank Gowdy. This date in 1950, the U.S. government decides to officially send troops into Korea.
U.S. President Harry S. Truman ordered air and naval forces to assist South Korea against an invasion by North Korea. Korea was divided along the 38th parallel. In the early morning of the 25th of June, North Korean troops crossed the 38th parallel and invaded South Korea. The action was condemned later that afternoon by the United Nations Security Council. 2 days later, on the 27th of June, the Security Council approved Resolution 83, which recommended providing military assistance to South Korea.
Yeah, it's amazing. Truman sent in MacArthur. MacArthur drove him all the way back to the border of China, and then China came pouring across the border. Should have let MacArthur just finish the job. We'd be in a much better place right now.
When you said Hank Gowdy, you talked about Hank Gowdy Field, struck something. I remembered this fact about him. I just confirmed it.
How about Howdy Doody?
He was the first active major league player to enlist in World War I.
That's what Bobby said.
I know. And the only player to fight in both World War I and World War II.
What?
Yeah. Only one to do it. Born in Columbus. Went to Columbus North High School.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Died at the age of 76.
So if he was, let's say,
So he made it through both of them, is what you're saying.
Yes.
let's say he was 22 in World War I.
He was born in 1889.
So in we'll say 1941,
He'd be
or
42.
52, 53 years old.
Man, now that's service.
So I used to I did an honor flight, I don't know, probably about 10 years ago, and I'm guessing this gentleman has passed. Two guys I took were awesome. One of them was a World War II vet, lived in Chillicothe. Great guy. And his wife and him had been married for like 75 years. They got married when they were like 17 years old before he went to fight. And there was a gentleman that was on the honor flight with us that had, the hats that'll say when they were in.
Yep.
He was he was GI, General Infantry, in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. 27 years of active duty service. I go, dude, the odds of you standing here today?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was part of the D-Day invasion, he said.
Oh,
I'm like, the odds of you making it through that, then the odds of you making it through Korea, and then Vietnam, the amount of I sat there and talked to him for a half hour in the morning. It was remarkable. I was like, dude, I just want to record this and write a book because it's not even real. I mean, he's like one of one. Nobody else, he was not some high-ranking officer. He was straight up
boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, right.
The fact that you didn't get caught by a stray at some point in time is surely an act of God.
You think he's still alive?
Zero chance of that. No, that was 10 years ago.
There aren't many left. World War II vets.
At one point, I remember they're saying there was hundreds of thousands dying a day. Yeah, there are not many left. There was one that lived behind my house. Awesome guy, and he passed away probably 5 years ago. Right at the end of COVID. This date, 1974, President Richard Nixon visits the Soviet Union. I believe he was the first president to do so, like in the Soviet Union while they were the Soviet Union.
I got this, Bob. As of 2024, it's estimated that approximately 66,000 World War II veterans are still alive in the United States. Think about how many millions there were that fought in that war. Not many
and
left.
all those guys are in their mid-90s.
Over 16 million Americans served in World War II. So, yeah, whatever 66,000 divided by 16 million is.
It's a small percentage.
Yep.
Small, very, very small percentage. I guarantee you that number is rapidly decreasing. Oh, my goodness. This date, 1976, John Lennon receives his green card from the U.S. Department of Naturalization, making him a U.S. citizen over here. How about that? Getting to stay over here.
How did that work out?
Well, this was his final. This was his final resting place.
Yes, it was.
And then in 1987, "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston. It's number one. With somebody who loves me. Sure.
Yep. And then she visited the Queen.
Yes.
Not shortly after that.
No,
It was.
She was really talented.
Oh, she was the best, dude.
Yeah.
The fact that her and her daughter are dead, and Bobby Brown is alive, is a crime.
That's shocking.
It is a crime. I used to really like Bobby Brown back in the day, and then I realized how much of a scumbag he was, and I loved Whitney even far more than him, and that really was troubling to me. This date, 2009, Neil Young and Paul McCartney perform a duet of "A Day in the Life" at London's Hyde Park. Oh, you guys are beautiful. Was it good, Shark? Did you enjoy watching that?
Yeah, it was so grainy. That's the best
really?
audio I could get from
2009, yeah, it's tough. They didn't have a bunch of iPhones back then. Then this date, 2024, this is remarkable. This was a year ago today, was the presidential debate, the only one they had with Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24% or 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
I forgot that was how that ended.
Yeah.
And then in July 21st, so I don't know what day of the week that was, but that's when he announced that he was withdrawing from the presidential race. So less than a month.
Okay.
So it was 3 weeks approximately after this, and then announcing his withdrawal.
I love how in the same week we can hear the Kennedy speech in Berlin, and you hear how confident and how how he captures the crowd.
By 9 Berliner, dude.
Yeah.
He's Berlin is in the middle of the Soviet bloc at that point. I mean, you're over there, and he's over there, saber rattling at the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
You're strong, confident. And they killed him. So unfortunately, that didn't end well.
Yeah, he lasted more than 3 weeks after that.
He did.
Not much longer.
Oh, it's crazy. The 21st, I don't remember what day it was then. It was shortly after that Trump was shot.
That was in July.
Yeah, July 21st. I'm saying shortly after his resignation, And it was just a wild month in election history last year. That was one of the most wild presidential elections, at least in modern history. Some birthdays today. Not sure how you celebrate a birthday if you can't see or hear, but Helen Keller was born on this date, 1880.
Amazing.
AJ always said she was a fraud. He goes, if you can't see or hear, how are you supposed to communicate? How could you read Braille?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I think at one point she could do one or the other, and then maybe she lost her sight.
Yeah, she had scarlet fever when she was 2 years old.
Oh, so then
she lost her sight and her
But she couldn't play the piano, though, could she? And that would be the real test if you're like a talented blind person.
Are you being serious or telling a joke here? The poor woman was blind and deaf.
Look, Stevie plays the piano. I know. I'm not.
Mozart was deaf, and Charles was blind, and so is Stevie.
So is Edison.
I don't know if you can do both of them.
I got
really hard if you never heard how a piano sounded.
They would lay, so Mozart was going deaf, and he would lay his head on the piano, and he could tell the difference in keys by the vibrations. So my wife, there's a thing for, I don't know if it was the 4th of July or something, they're like calling all musicians with Upper Arlington, and she's like, you can go play and do whatever. And I'm like, I forget what it was for. And they go, dear, I played the piano. I would not define myself as a musician. I go, that's like people that, go out and play golf. I would not consider myself a golfer.
That's different.
It's the same thing. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you're proficient at it.
No, but I would think that you are better than half the piano players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you're rapping in 6-year-olds
that are taking
lessons.
But it's calling all. You said calling all musicians. I would think you should.
I would not define myself in any stretch as a musician. I have too much respect for other musicians to say that. Like, that's a respect thing. I'm not going to disrespect the craft. Juan Trippe, born on this date, 1899. You know Juan Trippe founded?
I have no idea.
It will be forever burned in my mind listening to Leonardo DiCaprio as Howard Hughes. Juan Trippe was the founder of Pan American Airlines. And he's talking to the one senator in the hearing and he's like, about how you and Juan Trippe, took you down to South America, to Brazil or whatever like that, and Venezuela. I forget the country in South America. And he's like, it was part of he was a senator. He's from Massachusetts or Maine, one of the two. And he goes, it was part of my political duty. He's like, sell a lot of lobsters down there in Maine, do they, Mr. Whatever? It was so amazing. So amazing. And then Howard Hughes went crazy, so that was good. But Juan Trippe, he was like, Mr. Juan Trippe flew you down there, and that's why you're here, isn't it? It's good. Have you seen The Aviator, Thidoff?
No.
Of course you have. You've seen it, though, Shark, correct?
Of course, yeah.
It's an unbelievable movie, and it's a true story, which is what's even better.
That's not the one where he's like the guy pretending to be other people.
No, that's Catch Me If You Can, which is also a true story, which I actually saw a clip of that guy on the Johnny Carson show.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
Talking about how he picked up an escort for free.
Actually, for positive.
Yeah, he ended up making money.
Made money on the deal, right? He was the prostitute.
Yeah, so amazing.
She said it would be $600 for the night, and he said, I don't have $600. I'll write you a check for $1,000,
right?
And you give me $600
or $400.
$400
yeah.
Yes, that's what it was. It was at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami or something. He told her he owned part of the hotel.
Yeah, he was going down and cash the check or whatever.
It was so great.
I have not seen that movie.
You should,
but I've seen
Leonardo's book. Like
he's
his
great,
catalog.
and Tom Hanks is great in that movie.
I've seen enough clips from it. I think I don't need to see it now, though. I saw him playing the teacher and all that stuff.
Not Abagnale,
right,
not Abagnale. Abagnale.
Him with Hanks when Hanks catches him in the hotel and then he pretends to be an FBI agent or CIA.
Like, his catalog is amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that like a lot of them are true stories. Yep. Shutter Island, true story. Titanic, true story.
Well, true-ish.
Not that particular love story in Titanic.
They did crash.
The Revenant,
also true story.
Won an Oscar.
Shutter Island, not a true story.
No.
Growing Pains?
Was he in Growing Pains?
The TV show at the very end.
You know, speaking of The Aviator, Cate Blanchett played Katharine Hepburn in that movie, and she was fantastic.
Yeah. Really good. You would really like it. Ross Perot, born on this date, 1930. We got any?
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
So good. So good. Vera Wang turning 76, the famous dress designer. Chuck Person, the 14-year NBA vet and Rookie of the Year in 75, turning 61.
Michael Jordan into Grant. Grant on the turn. A dish off to Purdue, and he's fouled going to the hoop. Technical foul. Who's it on? Got to be Person. Person he kicked the ball into the stands.
He just kicked the ball into the
He's
stands.
been thrown out of the game.
You know what? He's going to kick it again.
He'll miss some games now.
Whoa.
Chuck Person, I'm sure, will miss a few games this week. Bill Oakes, the official, right in his face.
Oh, man.
That second kick went almost to the upper level in the arena.
The Rifleman, right? Was that his nickname, the Rifleman? I think Chuck Person. Chuck Connors was the Rifleman. I think Chuck Person. I think he also had the nicknames. I think they also called Chuck Person the Rifleman.
Chuck Connors was he was the Rifleman on TV. He also played professional football
and baseball.
And baseball. We've talked about him before on this date in history.
Basketball and baseball.
Yes. I think he's the only man to play in the NBA and NFL.
Maybe Dave DeBusschere.
DeBusschere played, I know he played did he play baseball or football?
Connors is the only dude to play in football and basketball, I want to say.
I think that might be right, although Cal Hubbard is in 2 halls of fame.
Right.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame and, I don't know, must be basketball if you're saying that he didn't play baseball.
This sounds like a conversation 3 people in their 70s would have in the restaurant sitting out there talking.
I'm trying to prepare Shark for when he goes to Bob Evans.
Chuck Connors.
You know, Deion Sanders played 2 sports. Bo Jackson played 2 sports.
Overrated.
Jim Edmonds turning 55 today, the 4-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glover, World Series champ. Tobey Maguire, the man they've called Spider-Man, turning the big 5-0 today.
Spider-Man is the dream job of all time, is it not?
It's pretty great. I'm embracing it. I'm not really afraid of being typecast anyways.
How long does it take to shoot a Spider-Man movie?
We shot for about 5 months, but there's a whole prep time, and then all the computer stuff afterwards takes a while.
When you finally turn into Spider-Man, you're muscular as hell. Well, how did that work?
I worked out for 5 months, 6 days a week, up to 4 hours a day.
And do you eat more food when you do that?
Had a nutritionist, and I was eating 4 to 6 meals a day, lots of protein.
Love to eat 6 meals a day.
Well, if you had to gain weight, or you could be on the other side of that and be McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club.
Yep.
You know.
Then you got to fast a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Hanks, I don't think he leaned into it enough in Philadelphia. He didn't get as skinny as he could have.
But Tobey Maguire, he just put on muscle. He didn't get big. He didn't get fat.
I like the Spider-Man movies with him.
How many did you see?
3.
Did you see the Upside Down Kiss?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in the second one, I think.
Yeah.
I paused that one.
Turning 41 today, Khloe Kardashian of Kardashian fame.
Thank God, no sound.
That's is that the youngest one? Of the
no,
three
no,
girls?
no.
Courtney, then Kim, then Khloe.
I guess there's the Jenner girls in there too, which always throws me off.
Chloe's the one that had the baby with Tristan.
Probably.
I think.
Here we
That
go
sounds
again.
about right.
Again, 75-year-old rest.
No, this is more of a. That's more of a beauty part. That's more of a beauty salon conversation.
By the way, I would not ever say that I know the order of the Kardashian.
Listen, Shark keeps
women.
up. Shark keeps up with them.
Kicking it with the Kardashians.
Bobby Wagner, the 6-time first-team All-Pro, 5-time second-team All-Pro for the Commanders, long time with the Seahawks, turning 35 and future Hall of Famer. Will Levis turns 26 today, the man who puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
Will Levis, quarterback at the University of Kentucky, and I have been known to put mayonnaise in my coffee sometimes.
Oh, you get this.
I'm doing the
Take that out, Will. Sorry, I can't remember. Oh, Will.
May your delicious dip be served hot while your quarterback plays it cool. Impressive. May your dip be creamy and your quarterback dreamy. Oh, hey.
That is amazing.
Preferred beverage of bust quarterbacks all over the NFL.
There we go. And final birthday turning 25 today. I like to call him Mr. Olave, Chris Olave.
McLaurin, Olave, and Campbell wide to the right. Dwayne Haskins in the shotgun. Back to pass. Sets to the Michigan 30. Tosses on a right angle for Olave, and he's got it in the end zone for another score as he weaved inside of a defender. A 24-yarder again. Dwayne Haskins to Chris Olave. 13-6 Ohio State.
Throws it on a right angle, not a wrong angle. Some holidays observances today. It is Decide to Be Married Day. Happy birthday to you. Helen Keller Day. International Rosé Day. Wine, not flowers. How about that? National Food Truck Day. Speaking of McConaughey, National HIV Testing Day. National Ice Cream Day. National Indian Pudding Day as well. And PTSD Awareness Day. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date. Friday, June 27th, 178th day of the year, 187 days remaining, and the last Friday of work for Mark the Shark.
And you can tell he's really contemplating not retiring. But well done as always, General. Make sure you stick around. Coming up next here on Morning Juice, we'll hear from Carlos Lockland, running backs coach for Ohio State. That's next.
Bobby Carpenter here with Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. In sports, it's always a good idea to be working on your fundamentals. Off-season, during the season, it doesn't matter. The ones who drill the fundamentals are the ones who consistently win. The same holds true when you're running a business. Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, know banking fundamentals can make all the difference.
Thanks, Bobby. There's no substitute for doing the right thing, and often the hard thing in business. Managing the books, cash flow, and sales tracking is as important as producing the product. The business cannot succeed without good fiscal management.
Thanks, Chuck. Riverside Bank of Dublin knows that most business owners are busy people, and that's why we can assist in cash management. Let one of our commercial bankers help you do the right thing, too. These skills will help you grow your business and get a loan when the time comes. We want to help. Call us.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
My son Ian was diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 16 months. The outlook was pretty rough. I mean, it was, we had no hope until St. Jude rescued us. I mean, they saved him. To this date, we are 12 years into this journey, and from day one, we've never once seen a bill. It gave us the peace of mind to know that we're there with our son, and we're gonna beat cancer together. Now, he is doing really, really well. He's alive because of what St. Jude has done. He's here because of the doctors who came before, their blood, their sweat, their tears, the knowledge accumulated and shared, with everyone else around the world. This is how we get rid of this, how we help kids beat cancer all over. It's the future.
Together, we will make cures possible for every child everywhere. Learn more at stjude.org.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, here we are, folks. Morning Juice on a Friday. The Bobby Carpenter Show with Anthony Schlegel. Had Carlos Lockland on, the head coach, or running backs coach for Ohio State. That would have been breaking news there. And good interview, Bob?
Yeah, it was a great interview because Locke is awesome. And I was hoping to get him on just because he's been here for a year. He's a guy from Montgomery, Alabama. His pathway to coaching at Ohio State was coaching in college in general was crazy unique.
Mm-hmm.
And, he always talks about how he loves to coach, loves the game, loves to impact young men in a positive way. And this was a guy that when his playing career at Chattanooga was done, he had a tryout with the Giants or a free agent opportunity there. Their trainer, Ronnie Barnes, and he remembered that he's like, I think his name was Ronnie. I was like, Ronnie Barnes. So it's like, he's been there for like 45 years. He was my dad's trainer. So my dad loves him. He's like, he told me I'd never be able to play because my hips were too bad. So I ended up playing a couple years in the Arena League. And it's like, then I got married, had twins, had to get a job. It's like, so I started in corrections. He was a criminology major, started working for Memphis PD. And I think at some point he was doing these government contracting, undercover, like wire stuff. And while I was doing that, he was coaching high school football. And he's like, I'm coaching Memphis public schools, which are atrocious. He's like, so I'm working overtime shifts to get money to help buy shoes for the kids, buy them food, things like that. And then, and I don't think Bodie has this clip in there about how he got to Memphis. He goes, I can't even think of the name of the school now in Memphis. It was like a D3 school that would like be equivalent to, Otterbein or Capital here. And the coach asked to volunteer. The coach told him no. And
asked to volunteer, was told no.
And then he goes, so I went, he goes, that was God telling me I wasn't dreaming big enough. I go to Memphis. They bring him in. He would work from like 10 o'clock to 5:30.
Right.
Drive the equivalent of like Delaware to downtown. And then work at Memphis from like 7 to 4, 7 to 5.
Yeah.
Go home, sleep for like 4 hours, and then go to work. And he volunteered like that at Memphis for 2 years. He goes, that's why he calls himself the walk-on coach.
Here is him talking about Ryan Day taking a chance on him.
I didn't know Coach Day. I knew nobody. Like, I'm not from the street. I knew nobody. And Coach Day to come out, I got to tell everybody, man, I don't have no big name like the rest of these guys in college coaching. Nobody knew me. So for him to reach out to me and say, hey, look, I want you to come coach here at The Ohio State, I was blown away. And for him to take that chance on me, along with some of the other coaches, because Dan Landon took a chance on me. Not only Dan Landon, but Tyson Hill. These guys took a chance on me, man. But just coming here to Ohio State and seeing what it is to be a Buckeye, man, I was blown away, man.
Admittedly, I have no idea what traits and characteristics you look for in hiring a running backs coach. You know what I mean? Like I know, knowing running backs, knowing how to how the running backs function and all of that, I'm sure. But it's pretty incredible, that he's had the success he's had at Ohio State in the short time he's been here.
Well, he's like, I had great players. He goes, but I can coach anybody.
Right.
So he's like, that's what I tell recruits. He's like, I don't need you. I don't need 5 stars. He's like, give me whoever. I'll go coach him up to NFL players. I'm going to coach him really hard. And that's kind of one of his tenets. The one that I was curious about, a guy from Montgomery, Alabama, played at Chattanooga, never really been in the state of Ohio before.
You want to do the one, the passion of the fans, that one?
Okay. This, because I asked him the question, I go, what was the thing that surprised you the most, or that was unexpected, or that you didn't know, and now after a year of being here, like the thing that now you're more familiar with, or that was unexpected, I guess.
All right, here's Locke.
The passion of the fans. Like, it's like I can walk in Columbus and somebody say, hey, Coach Locke, can I take a picture? That threw me off. People know who I am. It's the passion of the fan, and I truly love living in Columbus, man. It's one of the best cities. I tell people all the time. I didn't know anything about Columbus. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, and I told my wife, she like, you want to stay here, don't you? I like, because every other place I ever been, I always leased. I never did buy a house. I got to Columbus, I bought a house immediately. I bought a house immediately. I told Coach Day, look here, buddy, I got to stay here with you. I don't want to go nowhere. This is where I want to be at.
Great. He seems like he'd be a great interview.
He's very positive. He's got a ton of juice. He talks about coaching guys hard, just leaning into guys, loving on them, but having high expectations. He said he wrote, he pulled out the Admiral's name, that he said, talks about, they're reading the book, Chop Wood and Carry Water. And, being entrusted with the small things and doing the small things in life on a daily basis. It's accumulation of success. And he's like, that's why I work out, because I want to be in shape, because you don't listen to some guy that's overweight and old telling you how to do something. He goes, so I work out so that they can look at me and know that I'm doing the same thing that they're doing. I've done it before, and I can expect that of them. And so I forget the Admiral who gave the Make Your Bed speech. And
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and he was the guy, actually, he's in American Manhunt with bin Laden. And he was
I read his book.
Yeah,
The
really?
guy with the make your bed. Yes.
So Locke's like, I saw that, and we told our guys, like, we're going to make our bed. He goes, so I'm on vacation. He goes, I'm at a hotel. I wake up in the morning, I make my bed, I send a picture of it to James and to CJ and to Bo, all these guys every morning. Sam Williams, like, I send a picture of it, and then I make them send me a picture back of them when their bed is made. He's like, that's what we're going to do. I'm like, it's impossible not to get inspired, like, listening to him. And I told my kids, none of them listen to it, and they're going to listen to it today. I go, you're going to listen to this interview with this guy because this dude cares a lot about life, and he is where he is, not because someone gave him an opportunity, but because he's worked for everything. He even had a reference in there with Ryan. He's like, like, it was one of the favorite things that say, like, Ryan, he's like, I wasn't born on third base in here. And I goes, neither was I. He goes, I was in the dugout.
That's a good one. I listened to the book, but I did listen to the book.
Listen, that's
a good book. That's a good listen, I should say. And the author was the one who read it, which I always love when they do that.
His voice is awesome too.
Yeah. We'll play one more here, talking about the running back room this year.
I'm excited about the room. James Peoples, C.J. Donaldson, Sam Williams Dixon, Bo Jackson, Anthony Turbo Rogers, Isaiah West. I'm excited about all those young men because there's a bunch of unknown. This where the real coaching come out at. You having Trey and Q last year, they were household names. And what people don't realize, I had a prior relationship with Trey and Q. I recruited Trey when I was down there at Florida State, and of course Q is from my hometown. I've been knowing him for a long time, but I'm excited about this particular room because it's unknown. These guys are really good players. They just don't have the household name. They haven't got the opportunity yet.
Great opportunity this year for the running backs with a experienced offensive line, and opportunities abound for them,
Absolutely. And it's awesome to hear, like, we got into the blocking and how much the guys carry about each other and how they're going to block and play special teams and do all the dirty work if you're not playing and a primary guy. And one of the other things, he's like, it takes zero effort to celebrate someone else's success. Because I told him, like, you and Heartline, I think, have the toughest jobs of any coach on the staff. And that's not to diminish anyone else. It's coaching running backs and receivers is really hard because there's one ball and they all want it all the time. And they all think that they're the best. And that's what part of the reason that makes those guys great. But you trying to make sure that they are team guys first is really hard.
And tell me if I'm wrong on this, Bobby. I know you have no problem telling me when I'm wrong. But I know that
I've gotten pretty comfortable with it.
Recent memory, Ohio State running backs have graded out well as far as being in pass protection and also as receivers catching the ball.
Yep.
And there's been changes to the staff, obviously, now in some years, and it still maintains that kind of, like, with the Ohio State running backs are kind of perceived that way. They have that skill set when they leave Ohio State and go to the next level. I don't remember when you played. Was it also as pronounced then?
Well, so my dad always said this, and he, coached high school for a long time, played running back in the NFL. He goes, they don't coach you on vision. Like, you can't teach guys. I mean, you can teach them some things to look for, but you got to be able to see it. He's like, what you can teach running backs is blocking and catching. And that's where, to me, the trademark of a great running backs coach, like ball security, how you finish runs, things like that. But as far as finding holes, like, a lot of that's innate. But how well you block and how well you get out in the pattern and can you run good routes, like, that is stuff that can be coached up.
And that's one of those things that separates Ohio State running backs when it comes to the draft process. When you watch them on film and see them pass blocking really well, and they take it seriously. So that's good stuff from Coach Locke. Coming up next, quick hitters. Morning Juice.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible, by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between at feedingamerica.org.
Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. We have one more cut we're going to play later on in this segment. We're not going to play right now, but later on this one with Coach Locke talking about the running back split of the carries, the touches last year, if you will. But right now, though, let's do some quick hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Shark.
No, not the last one. I got two more next week.
Last Friday.
Okay,
That's
last
what I was
Friday,
saying, yes.
Quick hitters. The Blue Jackets traded backup goalie Daniil Tarasov to the Florida Panthers for the 160th pick in this weekend's NHL draft. Tarasov was a restricted free agent who will back up another former Blue Jacket, Sergei Bobrovsky, in goal there in Florida. Ironically, Bobby, Tarasov and Bobrovsky come from the same town in Siberia, and Tarasov's father was Bobrovsky's idol growing up. How about that?
Is Faja?
Is
Faja.
Yeah. They drank vodka together.
See, I thought Tarasov was maybe going to be like the long-term answer here.
It's Jet
Greaves.
Yeah. Jet's
and maybe we've had a lot of potential long-term answers.
Oh,
the
no,
problem is
NBA.
we've never made it to that long-term. Bobrovsky was the only guy that became that, and then he didn't like it here. I say Russians don't. I'm done drafting Russians in general. Tarasov was playing pretty well. But then we had four. We had four at one point, like an entire Russian power play. I think that they threw out there. It was pretty good. But
now
And I'm like, why? These guys don't like it here, but maybe they do. Maybe Columbus is becoming the new home. They call it Russia West. And
there is a Russia, Ohio.
It's true.
Well, and they said a big reason for that was their guy Shark. They said they wanted a little taste of home, and they come over.
Look,
and these guys they get this. Shark dresses
they're
up.
Too young to know what the Soviet Union was all about.
Someone in the chat the other day wanted a list of Shark's top 3 communist dictators, and wanted to get it on the air.
You know what? That'll be a final show thing.
Top 3, his favorite 3. The ones he enjoyed the most. The Tarasov thing, I can see. You can see it from a mile away. But the fact how little he played, how many times that he was sitting there, and they would bring up Jet to play when
because they wanted to find out about Jet, right? And he was playing well.
Yeah, he was. He played very well. But yeah, Tarasov. That's amazing that they both are. They're from the same town in Siberia, and that his dad was Bob's mentor.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. This is the biggest question with the Jackets for next year. I'm telling you, if they get consistent goaltending play, they're a playoff team. They have to get consistent goal. Look how close they were this year.
There's
very
something
bad.
about my aunt being my uncle.
Yes,
if there
I
was
know.
An if there too. So, I mean, like if you get consistent goaltending play, that's like, hey, you know what? I mean, if your starting pitcher goes 8 scoreless innings, you got a really good chance of winning.
I feel like you're mocking me there, Bob.
The San Francisco Giants have 5 statues outside of Oracle Park. Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Juan Marichal, Gaylord Perry, and Orlando Cepeda. 7 years ago, the team retired Barry Bonds' number 25 jersey, but didn't give him a statue. Now, the Giants are giving Bonds a statue outside the stadium. He played 15 of his 22 Major League seasons in San Fran and hit 586 of his 762 career homers. While with the Giants, we don't know when the unveiling will take place. Tito, the Giants say they don't have the exact location or the exact date.
They should put it behind something, and they should use the likeness of him in Pittsburgh before he started juicing. That would be the ideal way to do it.
Skinny Barry Bonds?
Yes, Skinny Barry Bonds. Skinny Barry Bonds would hit like 240.
He didn't hit 240.
Like his rookie year he did, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, his rookie year. He was a Hall of Famer from his time in Pittsburgh.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Yes, he was a Hall of Famer before the time in Pittsburgh.
3 MVPs.
But cheated. Maybe cheated's the wrong word.
Get in line with everybody else.
Bob, he ruined the numbers in baseball. He and A-Rod.
Because he was the best.
Clemens. No, because he was the juiciest.
They had all these average guys who were using steroids. Then it's like, hey, I'm just going to be the best player that finally used steroids. And because no one cared about his 40-40 stuff in 96. Everybody's hitting all these dongs. And so, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them.
I think that the opinions on Bonds are somewhat generational.
Yeah.
Like, Shark, you and I both grew up on baseball numbers. And that's what we knew all those. And Kirkshin also, yes. But, the numbers were always so damn important.
Peter Gammons.
You know what's really important about the numbers? Is I knew them.
Well, yeah.
But I'm saying, and so I wonder if I'm more upset with Barry Bonds because now I don't know. And Clemens and Ryan, it was always, it was the 714 was Ruth, and then the 61 with Maris and all those things.
61 and 61. They actually made a movie about that.
I've heard about that one. I need to check it out.
That's when I really began to admire Mickey Mantle. It was after watching that movie.
That was I've said before, Bob. There's too many statues given out.
Too many statues.
There is. We don't need to do this. Look, let's go back to the days of Rome when you had to be really important to get a statue. Now it's like, you have a couple good seasons.
All you had to be was emperor, and then you just have him build your own statue.
That's fine, but I'm saying there's too many. Everyone's getting statued now. Everyone's getting jersey retired. Oh, you want a title here? We'll put a jersey up for you. It's just that. Make it special.
Shador, he was a 4th-team All-American.
Yes, he was. Number retired.
Barry Bonds, his rookie season of 86, batted .223. Finished 6th in the Rookie of the Year balloting. Then he really didn't do much his second year either. And then he started blossoming. Won 2 MVPs while in Pittsburgh and then 5 more in San Francisco.
Asterisk.
One of those things where, if he hadn't juiced, he'd still be in the Hall of Fame.
Him and Roger Clemens were both Hall of Famers prior to using steroids.
And and that's fine. Then let's take all their records after steroids.
I don't know about Clemens, Bobby.
He had won 3 Cy Youngs before he started juicing.
Yeah, but he had 190 wins before he started juicing, and his final 4 seasons.
He said he was bad. I remember that.
Final 4 seasons in Boston, he was 41 and 40 combined. He was going downhill, and then he found the fountain of youth right in his butt, where they.
That should be find the fountain of youth, but I bought Clemens' story. I would see the Clemens workouts.
I give Clemens credit because he was the only guy that him and Bonds, his trainer, what was his name from Balco?
Oh, yeah.
He went to prison for him.
Yep.
Yeah. He went to prison for him for 2 years for contempt because he wouldn't testify. And then Roger Clemens, AJ always said this. I read have you read Juice by Jose Canseco? Clemens is the only guy that he doesn't indict, and AJ goes, man, and said he was a good husband. I mean, he's spilling on everybody, and Clemens was the only guy he didn't touch, and AJ's like, man, Clemens is a good dude, which we found out later he wasn't. He's like, so he must have paid off Jose Canseco to make him look better.
Could be. The one that I bought was Palmeiro. When Palmeiro
was shaking his finger.
Crooked I have never, because he didn't have the body of a juicer like the other guys, and he didn't his numbers didn't grow exponentially as he got older.
He was never great.
He was always great. It was
always good.
Just really consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, lifetime 300 hitter and 560 some home runs. But he didn't have the big physique like Bonds had. Former Ravens kicker Justin Tucker has been suspended for the first 10 weeks of the regular season for violating the league's personal conduct policy. He is accused of sexual misconduct by 16 massage therapists in the Baltimore area between 2012 and 2016. Tucker is a free agent. If he signs with the team, he is allowed to attend training camp and play in preseason games before the suspension begins. But, Bobby, he is eligible for reinstatement November 11th.
So some people are saying he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And if he played a normal position, I would say that might be true. 'Cause someone's like, oh, he's 35, he's this and that. To Thidoff's ifs, there's a team out there that they will probably be saying, if we just had a good kicker, we would have a chance to get it done. We have a chance to win a Super Bowl. And talent trumps all. And the thing that the NFL did with this is before they never would give the suspension until someone was actually with the team. So people were terrified to sign someone because you're like, I don't even know what we're going to get out of them.
Right.
And they wouldn't start the suspension until they were with the team. I think the suspension starts right now. Like, so even if he's not with the team,
that's right.
Yeah, he's free agent. He's still suspended. Yes.
So come week 12 or 13, if there's a team that's having kicking problems, someone's going to sign him. And all their fans and everybody else are going to justify it because it's more like baseball with a kicker. Just plug him in and let him go. You don't need to be a part of the scheme. You don't need to know an offense or a defense. You just come in and kick the ball. You can be an isolated portion of that. And I think there will be a team that will sign him.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, Tito. I think had he not had the year he had last year, he'd probably still be with the Ravens.
And that's probably
because
true.
He had by far his worst season ever. I mean, he's the most accurate field goal kicker in NFL history, but he missed 10 kicks last year.
It was rough.
He was 31st among kickers in the NFL.
Okay, but then why isn't Trevor Bauer signed?
Yeah,
because
and he was never even found guilty.
They found that it was all made up.
Okay,
because they had worked this narrative against him so dramatically, and I've always said football is different, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because you wear a mask, and so that people can't see your face when you're out there. That makes it a little different.
I think if Trevor was a good guy, he'd probably.
If he wasn't such a weirdo.
He is really weird, and he's really
if Barry
combative.
Bonds was a nicer guy, I think that it wouldn't be the same with him. He's a jerk.
So McGuire came clean and looked remorseful and everything.
People like McGuire.
People like
a lot
McGuire.
more.
Sosa's welcome back in Chicago.
Because Sammy's a nice guy.
I don't know what race he is anymore, but
he's got that skin. He's got alopecia.
I never did understand the Bauer thing. This woman claimed that she was sexually abused and all that, and then she called him up to do it again.
Right.
I mean,
because it's not true. They have all that stuff to document.
If it happened once and she filed the lawsuit, that's one thing. But after all that happened, then she called him up and said, hey, let's run it back.
He sued
her,
He sued her. I think he maybe sued Major League Baseball or whoever. Was he with the Padres or Giants? Who was he with?
At the end, he was with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
huge contract.
And they cut him because of that for violation of like the personal conduct policy, basically in baseball. And I think that he either won that or is winning that. I'll have to go back and look that up because it all came out that it wasn't true. Yeah. So, I mean, you fired somebody and tried to void their contract because of it.
Well, the Dodgers, I don't know if they're getting sued. They didn't have to pay a player who was banned.
Right.
So,
but the thing is, I think that was maybe with Major League Baseball because they banned him. Like, well, we can ban anybody, like, or just arbitrarily. I didn't do anything wrong. except for being accused of something.
Right.
And the last time that I found in America, you're innocent until proven guilty. Now they can suspend him, and that's
kind of the same thing with Justin Tucker, though. He hasn't been found guilty in a court of law.
100%. And so as these charges come, that's why the NFL is that the commissioner's exempt list, and we'll pay you. I said, let them play until they're found whatever, and then go back and retroactively fine them a significant amount and then suspend them moving forward or whatever you want to do. But there has to be some burden that is met and not just the pitchforks and torches burden when people get upset about something. She said if what they did was true, then yes, they should definitely be suspended, banned, and probably in prison. But part of the problem is if it's not, then you're accusing someone of a very heinous crime and painting their reputation with that. And I'm not going to sit here and be the arbiter of who's right and who's wrong, but you have to be very careful when levying accusations that are so severe.
Did you see the Wander Franco decision came down?
Oh, he's guilty.
He's guilty of having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old.
14-year-old girl, which is illegal, I believe, in every state in the United States.
So this happened,
whether that's consensual or not.
That happened down in the Dominican Republic, and he gets a 2-year. Prosecutors wanted him to go to prison for 5 years.
Was that in the DR that they? Okay.
Yeah. He gets a 2-year suspended sentence, Bob, as long as he meets certain criteria.
Meaning playing in the Major League Baseball.
The girl's mom was convicted of trafficking her daughter.
Oh, geez.
She gets 10 years in prison.
Yeah. I mean, this is the worst story ever.
Wander paid her, what was it, $68,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
So that he could have sex with her daughter.
Come on.
She got 10
get some
years.
better content on this. I can't talk about this stuff.
Now
you got parents selling kids, man. Come on.
He'll never play in the major leagues again because he won't be able to get a work visa here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, after all, they had that 11-year, $182 million contract that Tampa Bay now doesn't have to pay him at all. So, all right, I'll play the Lachlan sound next, and also some shenanigans in college football. That's next. Morning Juice.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence. We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine, and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum. Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried. Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Hey Max, you look absolutely dashing in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world?
You bet, Daisy. I'm ready as I'll ever be. And might I say, your purple tie really pops with your vest.
Thanks. I almost went with a cape, but didn't want to come across as pretentious.
Nonsense. Anyone in our line of work should rock a cape.
You might be onto something, Max.
Phew, so here we go. First day on the job. You've got this, right?
Right. Don't forget, we both graduated from Dogs Inc. with honors.
Which means I can guide my human around a busy city with ease.
And I can give my human a restful night.
I hope my human is kind and loving.
And I hope mine likes wet kisses and zoomies.
Ready to make a difference?
Born ready. Let's go.
Discover how extraordinary dogs like Daisy and Max change lives at no cost to the recipients. Visit dogsinc.org.
for your daughter.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Bobby is the all-American male. Tito pulled a hammy getting his mail. This is Morning Juice.
Mics were off there, right, Shark?
I hope so.
Why?
What do you care? You don't care.
They fire
I
you
do
today?
care. And I feel bad because I'm leaving you, Tito, on Tuesday, and you'll never, ever, ever get to talk baseball again.
That's my concern, because the man or woman replacing you, I don't think I'll be able to. I won't be able to have those conversations where Bobby just looks at us like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?" When we bring up things like the 1960 World Series.
And then you start bringing up these guys from the DR and their
Well, no, like that.
moms selling their daughters into sex slavery. What are we talking about?
It was newsworthy, Bob.
I thought that isn't the news that I want to hear. There's a reason why I stopped watching the news years ago.
Okay, now wait.
Because I'm sick of listening to that stuff. I don't need bad things in my life. I see enough bad things anyway. Why do I want to watch them from around the globe?
Okay.
I know that those things occur, but I would just prefer to not consume them on a daily basis and live in a fear, because all they do on the news is pander fear anymore, and I'm done with it.
How is that different than my philosophy on movies and TV shows?
What does that mean?
Okay, I tell you, I don't like watching movies and TV shows that make me uncomfortable. But
that's fiction.
It doesn't. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not.
It's
Stephen A. Smith playing Ludacris in a biopic, or Ludacris playing Stephen A. Smith in a biopic.
That's great. I think Ludacris playing Stephen A. Smith would be better.
Think so?
Yeah.
And you do agree with my other take that Steve Harvey could play Gene Smith?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that'd be a good one there, too.
Or Gene Smith could play Steve Harvey?
Or I don't know if Smith could pull off Harvey. I think Harvey could pull off Smith. I don't know if Smith could pull off Harvey.
Gene said he was looking to host Family Feud in retirement.
That'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic if he did that. Yes, I would love to see that.
Keenan.
I know you're talking about Keenan Peele, dude.
No, not Keenan Peele. Keenan Reynolds. Who's the dude on SNL?
He's been there forever.
Starts with a W. Winan.
Not Williams. Is it Keenan? I should know this. Anyway, his Steve Harvey is pretty good.
That's really good. You're right. That one is a really good one he does there.
Keenan
Thompson. He does a really good Steve Harvey.
And he's been there forever now.
Yes, he's been on like 20 years.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what the record is, but he may have it. I don't know who had
so funny.
He's really good, yeah. I remember watching him in the Fat Albert movie. Did you guys ever see that one?
I did not see that
movie. You just watch the worst stuff.
Classic.
I used to buy Bill Cosby's albums, comedy albums.
Yeah, of course you did.
Talking about Fat Albert. That was
Pudding Pops.
He was funny, Bob. Funniest comedian I ever heard.
Nice, clean.
Clean comedian.
It just happened in his later years that he got a little wonky.
I don't think it was later years, was it?
I think it came out in his later years that he had always been that guy.
I think it happened before. I think it was like a thing where he turned 60, all of a sudden he turned into that, but I think he was like that.
Can we listen to some Carlos Lachlan or something so we can quit talking about sex predators?
That was Shark brought up Cosby, not me. Shark did that one. Here's, let's see, here he is talking about splitting up the carries last year, how he coached Travion and Quinshon.
I told both of them, we're going to learn how to be one. We're going to celebrate one another. And guess what? I'm frying the chicken in this room. So let me fry the chicken and you just pay attention to what I'm asking y'all to do. And they both bought into it. But the same thing has gone on. It's a foundation, a culture has been laid in that room with those two that James bought into. I tell James all the time, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We live in such a microwave society, and when these kids come out of high school, they think, well, I'm automatically going to jump into college and be successful. No, you got to work. If you come to Ohio State and you're in that running back room, you're gonna work here because I ain't giving you nothing. You're gonna work. So I think that has a big part of what happened in that room. I challenged both of them to work, and I told them that if they listen and trust me, good things are gonna happen. And they played as one. Both of those guys played as one. The same thing I'm telling the guys this year. Number one, you're gonna play special teams. If you don't want to play special teams, you need to go somewhere else because you're going to play special teams here. If you're not in the rotation, you got to play special teams. You want to play ball, play special teams. But those two bought into it. These guys, the coach in the room is set up. They bought into, helping one another, hanging out one another. True, like that Ohio State brotherhood is real. Like I'm talking about that's real. That's how I'm able to manage that room. Because like I said, I'm the biggest personality in there. So I tell them all the time, look, you're gonna do it my way. I'm frying the chicken, you just let me fry it.
I love it. I'm frying the chicken. Meaning I'm the cook. There's one cook in this kitchen, and that is me. It takes nothing to celebrate your other success, which is something that I think in this society today, that's what needs to be preached more through the room is, hey, all rooms celebrate each other's success. It doesn't take anything. Be happy for your teammates when they're doing well. And if you can do that and you're grateful for them as people, then you know what? Everything will work out fine and work out really, really well. So you did a great job articulating a lot of that and how that works, because that's one of the big things. Like, how do you keep those guys that are ultra competitive, that all want the football, how do you keep them happy? You know?
I've said that's the most amazing thing Hartline's done. And you said, the running backs and receivers coach are the toughest ones. But the fact that Henderson and Judkins were as locked in together last year. And Judkins, now, from the physical side, he should have been happy to get less carries after all the touches he had.
And that was part of the reason he came here.
Yeah.
But me getting 400 touches is not going to be good for my career long term.
To get them to buy into it.
100%.
And,
it's easy to say it. But when you run the ball down the field and then you're taken out and someone else scores a touchdown.
Yeah, right.
That's tough.
So
that's really hard.
That's good for him on that. I want to talk to you about this murder case. No, just kidding, Bob. The Florida State, they are being accused of some of their methods they're using with athletes as far as negotiations go. Agents and industry experts, they are saying that's what CBS Sports says, where they are doing a lot of lip service without having the contract signed. A lot of we'll do this. An NIL agent said that they're throwing everything they can and the kitchen sink. And an attorney who works in the NIL space said to CBS, this is new and uncharted territory. They're trying to put in as many things as they can think of and protect that university and see what they get pushback on and what they don't. Now, some of the things they're talking about doing, they've tried to do, is have a clause in the contract.
Like Santa?
Yes, like that kind of clause right there, where the team...
CLAUSES? Or that's what the clause is, or just
that's
clause. Or is it CLAWS?
Would Santa Claus be perceived differently if it was KLAUS here in the United States?
It's a great question.
Yeah. One of the things, though, the things they're trying to put in there, and CBS Sports said they've seen a copy of this, allows a team to extend a player at the end of their contract unilaterally without having to negotiate with the player. So,
you know what that's called? Team option.
It's a team option, yes, but not even there's no negotiation in that.
Okay, that's what it's called, a team option.
All right.
Have you ever heard they have a team option
yes,
against your contract? That means the team can choose to extend it. If they don't want to, you're done. If they do, you have no recourse.
There's also a maximum $2,500 fine on the first offense if a player loses team equipment such as a pair of cleats. Lose a pair of cleats, get fined $2,500. By the way, the max fine for using controlled substance the first time, $1,000.
All right.
Losing your cleats is 2.5 times worse than using a controlled substance.
And I'm trying to think of why that would be the case, if they're trying to just simply recoup dollars, which maybe is part of it, or if they're worried about guys like just taking their cleats and maybe they'd had a problem with this and selling them to people. I don't know, autographing them and selling them and signing them. Like at Ohio State, they make you get rid of them after so long because guys like to wear the same ones and they get busted and beaten up. And so they'd make us change them at some point. But
could you keep that stuff?
Well, back when we were there, no.
No, you couldn't keep it?
No, because they were worried about people selling things.
Oh, I got you.
It was ridiculous. Like you'd have to turn in your gloves to get a new pair of gloves. You'd have to turn in your cleats. They'd throw them away, but you have to turn them in, and they would dispose of them.
Do you have any game-worn jerseys in from Ohio State?
Yeah, they give you one a year.
They give you one a year, okay.
Your senior year, you get both.
It's one you wore in a game. Okay, I got
Your senior year, you get both. So I've got some.
Okay.
I mean, and then And then ironically, they would sell them, and then I guess they still had some left over because you wear like 4 or 5 a year.
Right.
And then they're like, hey, we're cleaning out. We've got some of your old ones. Do you want them? Like, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? So they gave us, I think they even had to make me I think I've got a new one that's made, but it looks ridiculous because it doesn't have the gray on the sleeves. So it's cool because it's the new one, but it doesn't feel like home.
Another clause in their Florida State's, some of their contracts are illness or injury which is serious enough to affect the value of rights granted to the school would allow, the way they have phrased, it would allow, the way it's written, allows Florida State to renegotiate or even cancel a player's contract at its discretion after any sort of injuries.
Well, there you go. So if you get hurt significantly, they have the right to pull the deal.
There's also provision that
I'm curious if that's like in season or after season. I'd have to see more. I'd have to look at that more specifically on the verbiage of that.
It also says that there's a provision that, depending how it's interpreted, could limit an athlete's right to counsel during any future negotiations.
No, I mean, like I said, you can put anything in the contract.
Right.
And when you sign it, it becomes then official. Now, some of that stuff, that's why it's important to really look through, and the devil's in the details. And I also tell people, put it in writing,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's down in there now, okay, well, you're saying this and here it is. Now we can take a look at it and figure out where to go from here.
It's going to be interesting, Bob, to see how, because if you operate this way,
you have to be upfront, open, and honest about this stuff. Because if not, if you get a reputation for doing things like that and doing backhanded deals and like the Bengals stuff, and there's teams that try to slide things in, and professional agents catch them. The thing is, there's no requirement. This is the problem. You have anybody review these deals. I mean, it could be a parent, a family member, could be a dude off the street, who's saying he's working on your behalf. Like in the NFL, that's why they put restrictions around agents, and you have to be certified and different things like that so you know what you're doing. But yeah, it's a wild thing, and I don't necessarily begrudge schools, but the problem is if you slide some of this stuff in there and you don't really articulate it and you're not open with it, people at the beginning, you're trying to backdoor put clauses in, because whether this is negotiating in the sports sense or in a business sense, which I've had it on both sides, where it's all about the people you get in business with, because that contract, people can subvert it. They can try to slide things in there. If you don't trust the people that you're working with, well, then you're never going to want to work with them anyway. And so, I mean, I've gone through this in business. I've gone through this recently with contracts where you're handed stuff like, this is not what we discussed. I've told you this. Like, do you even want me to sign this or not? Like, and I don't know if you thought I just wouldn't catch it.
Right.
But if I do, this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Like, I told my agent we were doing something on my rookie deal with Jerry. I was like, I'll go in there and talk to him and Steven. I said, all right. I'm like, I can articulate to them. They had deferred money in there and different things. I'm like, I'll sit there and articulate the time value of dollars and why them holding them is different. I'm like, give me, if you want to, we'll split the difference on whatever the inflation would be on this. But me getting this money for 2 years would be worth this if I'm getting it now, the present value of it. So let's dive into that. But you have to be able to clearly articulate those things. And most people probably aren't educated enough or experienced enough to be able to do that.
And that's why when I thought about this, I was thinking that, if you get some of these kids that, I say kids, but
young men, but I mean, you're kids until you start making some big mistakes. Then you're a young man.
So when you got somebody maybe from a rural town, somebody who had whose parents had a rough upbringing, and just sports is his big thing, is ticket out, okay, and the family.
My parents had no knowledge of this stuff.
But I'm saying
never done anything.
The family, though, they don't have
they don't have the knowledge. You don't have the experience. Like, and that's fine.
And if you get into
for that.
if you sign with the wrong agent because you don't do that, it could really screw you. And I thought that's terrible. But it's the same way in society.
It is.
Right? If you do something and you go to the wrong lawyer or take the wrong advice.
Who was it? Was it Fernando Tatis that we were talking about this?
Yeah. Yeah, Tatis, when he signed that deal.
He took 10% of his future earnings for $2 million when he was 18 years old.
Yeah. And
and they bet on him for that, but I mean, you've got to protect your people sometimes from themselves, but sometimes you don't have access to that. I mean, he should have, but some of these guys coming out, like you said, from rural towns or the underserved areas, they don't have access to that. And so I'm hoping that they're able to get paired up with good people. And, like, that's a big part of it. And so that's why when I'm over at Ohio State, I tell those guys, I talk to the guys all the time. Like, man, all I want to see you guys do is be really successful and go make $100 million. Like, that's what I care about. Go win games, be really good, and surround yourself with good people and good business partners that have your best interest in mind. And we have at Ohio State, there's a culture of that, so it's different. But at other places, I think it's far more nefarious.
When I read this story, Bob, and I was thinking, how can you fix this? Then I started thinking, there's really no way. It's because it's life.
It's 100% life.
It's the same. It's like, if I'm going to try to fix that, then I'm going to try to fix that everyone gets the same kind of legal advice that no matter what your income is and no matter what your background is, it's not going to happen. So I kind of sat and racked my brain about it for a little bit. Then I thought, what, this is stupid. I shouldn't even try to, because it's going to happen.
The way that it could be changed is if they had a collectively bargained system and there was some sort of framework around the players of what they could and couldn't do. And if you had expectations for any type of representation with that of what they needed to be able to represent players, then you would get out some of the nefarious characters like you've done in the NFL.
Right.
When my dad was playing, anybody could be an agent. He went through 4 agents, I think, in 10 years. But that was because it was the Wild West.
By the way, Brian in the chat said to bring Shark back on the show for his 90th birthday.
I will not be working when Shark's 90. I promise you that. And you'll be dead for sure.
So I got to start planning to either.
It's only 25 years away, Bob.
I think I'll make it to.
You don't think you'll be on Morning Juice 25 years from now?
0 chance of that. We have a better chance of getting hit by an asteroid.
So I got to plan
Tito
for that.
Will be 79.
And I will never.
And he's not.
Okay, fine. 79 in theory.
He's almost pickled right now.
I don't know what almost pickled means. That mean almost dead?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about that in the break.
We'll do that.
Interpret that later.
Coming up next, Chad, Your Highness from WeWinYouWin.com tries to make you some money. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. I care deeply about creating a world we can all fully participate in, free from stigma, misperceptions, and barriers. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on. Easter Seals. Rooted in communities nationwide, Easter Seals helps empower millions of people, regardless of age or disability, through its life-changing services and powerful advocacy. Today and every day, Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Learn more and get involved at EasterSeals.com.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Attack and dominate, YouTubers. You're locked into the Morning Juice.
Bob?
Do you need a bank that truly values local businesses in town and the opportunity to work alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, the place to go, Riverside Bank of Dublin. It has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience working in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate here, and they will help you reach your goals, whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep that business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale. Riverside Bank will tailor a solution to fit your needs. They do a fantastic job, so go visit them at riversidebank.com, riverside.bank, or stop in and get to know them at 6300 France Road, Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Let's make some money.
Helping you win your sports bets. This is Top Picks on Morning Juice.
Top Picks is powered by WeWinYouWin.com. Built by winners for winners. Stop guessing and start cashing.
All right, Your Highness, Chad joins us here. WeWinYouWin.com. Going to make us some money here coming up. Chad, what do you want to start with today?
First of all, let's just start off with a very warm good morning, Morning Juice. Get up and get going, all right? Jeff called me yesterday. He said, Your Highness, I love you. You bring great information. But I don't know if it's 4:20 in the morning, you woke up and you smoked a little bit, but we need you to bring a little bit of chutzpah early in the morning. Bobby, I put to sleep last episode. He started asking me NBA questions. I haven't watched the NBA in 10 years, Bobby. I don't know what the hell's going on. So guess what? Enough with the baseball, folks. We've heard enough about the Reds and the Indians. Let's move it on to the no-fun league, the NFL. So this is what we're going to do for the next 4 weeks. We got 8 divisions. We got the North, we got the West, we got the East, right, and the South. So we're going to take the NFC and the AFC South. We're going to start there, and each week for the next 4 weeks, we're going to touch on futures. Who's going to win the division in the NFL? That'll lead us right up into college football season. And, boys, I do apologize. I might be hijacked in the next 5-10 minutes. Sit back, relax. Write down some questions, and let's make some money, okay? So let's start with the AFC South. Your hometown hero, C.J. Stroud. He is that guy. He is that guy down in Houston. And I'll be the first one to tell you that I doubted him. I thought he was going to be like every other Ohio State quarterback coming in the NFL, right? Looks really good in the scarlet and gray, right? What we got? Terrell Pryor, Troy Smith. I mean, we can go, the list goes on and on and on. You guys can produce the wide receivers, but where's the quarterbacks? Anyways, C.J. Stroud's that guy. Throwing in Nico Collins. I think both should be healthy this year. I like the coaching staff this year. And who is going to beat them? The Colts are the only team there that I would even kind of worry about. They got AR-15, right? Richardson. Doesn't he quit in the middle of games? Is that what I'm worried about? Is that what I'm worried about in Indianapolis? No, thank you. No, thank you. You can find this at plus money, plus 115 over DraftKings. It's another place to have it at even money. I don't worry about Tennessee. I don't worry about Jacksonville, okay? Houston Texans should repeat and win that division again. Let's move to the that was the AFC. Let's move to the NFC South, all right? Last year, Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield. Maybe the people in Cleveland are familiar with Baker. By the way, the Progressive commercial. Yeah, the Progressive commercial. Does he still own that stadium, or did he had a? Yeah, okay. I didn't know if the Airbnb that out now. But anyways, Tampa's not repeating. Too many close games. When you got the wild gunslinger there, Baker Mayfield. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let's go to Hotlanta. They got that kid. Pendrix, right? Pendrix was the kid they reached up and got out of the draft, right? Out of Indiana, then Washington. I think he is a good pick because he's not going to force the ball too much. He's going to keep him in good position. Bijan Robertson, I think, is going to eat a lot of that ball, run the rock. And at plus 250, by the way, Kyle Pitts at tight end, can we start using this guy more down in Atlanta? I feel like he was so underutilized last year. I think if they can start using the London, Bijan Robinson, right? Start using some of these weapons they have down in Atlanta. Let's get it going. Bring out the Dirty Bird again, right? With Jamal Anderson, right? Let's get the Dirty Bird going down there in Atlanta again.
God, that was fun
so
back
that's who
then.
I got winning. Yes, that was the best. By the way, one of the best NFC championship games of my lifetime was the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Atlanta Falcons back in, what was that, 1998, 1999?
I think it was, yeah, 98. I think
somewhere, right? Yeah, Randy Moss, Randall Cunningham, right? Those were some good years. All right, so that's what we're going to do right there for the next 4 weeks. Hopefully the people like it. Tito,
yes, sir.
Is that enough energy for you in the morning?
Hey, look, you brought it today, no doubt about it. Yeah, that's good on that one. Tell us how people can sign up first. Let's do that. How can people sign up and get all your information?
So you could always go to WeWinYouWin.com, and basically you can branch out to any platform from there. I got everything linked there. But what I do want to plug the podcast. I started a podcast just a couple because everybody's got a podcast. You got to have a podcast. So I started a podcast 2 weeks ago. You can go to YouTube, find it. Shut Up and Bet with Your Highness. You can find it on Spotify as well. Everything's free. I put out daily free plays there as well. I just had a UFC expert on. It just got published last night, so you can go on YouTube and check. UFC 317. We do about an hour and a half show, go over every single fight. So if you're planning on betting the UFC, please go over to YouTube. It's completely free. Shut Up and Bet with Your Highness. I think YouTube at Shut Up and Bet. Check it out. I will say viewer discretion advised. I use a lot of profanity, and it is to move the needle. So if you're easily offended, please, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. And then Bobby, this one's for you. Because you said I want to put a little cheddar on there myself. You know, I got this old Jerry Jones money I'm trying to spend. So let's do this. Let's give you the highest play of the weekend.
Okay,
so
I like that.
It might be UFC. It might be UFC. When we get closer to college football, I'll definitely have you some college football. So I'm gonna steal from the show that we did yesterday a little bit and take it from my expert. Because this guy, his uncles actually fought in the UFC. I mean, he's personally friends with a lot of the officials in the UFC. So this is great insight. So it's on the pay-per-view. Sorry, I'm pulling it up right here. It's Joshua Van, and he's taking on Brandon Royval. Okay, and we're going to go into a prop here. And significant strikes, Josh Van, the line is 97.5. Now, he averages 8.2 strikes per minute. His last 3 fights have been 121, 107, 114 strikes. I expect this round, and so do the books, because they have it minus 500 to go the distance. Everybody thinks this fight's going the distance every round. This is going to be a high volume fight. I think there should be no issues if this goes to decision that Joshua Van easily goes over 100 significant strikes. I would put 5% of my money I'm willing to put into play on this play. That's how confident I'm on this play.
What's the toughest sport for you to handicap?
Baseball.
Yeah.
Which is why it was tough coming on here trying to do it the day before, because the pitching changes, the lineups changes, everything's changing. And honestly, I don't really put out baseball plays in about 2 hours before first pitch. Now, college football, I'm going to love this getting ready for you guys, college football, because by Tuesday or Wednesday, I have everything done for college football ahead of time. College football is my love.
Yeah, that's actually scratched me right where I itch on that one there, Chad. So WeWinYouWin.com. He's Your Highness Chad, and it's a great product they put out there, and you can go there and check out all of his plays, and then pimp the podcast one more time for me.
Yeah, Shut Up and Bet with Your Highness, Spotify or YouTube. But again, if you go to WeWinYouWin.com, there's a link there you can follow. Jeff is part of the community. He's a member. I just offered off air to Shark. He's retiring. I don't want him out of my life. I gave him a lifetime membership for free.
Wow.
No charge. Because I want to see him. Come stop in. Say hello to the peoples. Anyways, anybody listening, you can always go there. Use code Bobby You can get in for only $42 a month for the lifetime. That's their thing. Whenever you sign up, you're grandfathered in at that price. You believe me at that day, I believe you should stay at that price. So there's people that signed up when we first started for like $25, $30 a month. They're still paying that amount today because they trust me at that dollar amount. I'm going to keep them right there. Guys, is it my time?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm gonna put the money on the UFC play there. I like that. That's a great insight on that one, Chad. Thank you so much, folks. Go to WeWinUwin.com and check out his podcast as well. Thanks for the time, brother. We appreciate it.
And just remember, jump on the right foot and do the wrong thing. I'm out.
I like that. That's good.
Oh, that was good. I like that. Chad did a great job on that one. Bobby, he was juiced. What's got you juiced? I can play it in a moment.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Oh, Schlegs has got me juiced. Him driving back today from Florida, a caravan shark of 3 vehicles. I don't know what time they left Jacksonville. I'm guessing they probably left fairly early.
He's sleeping. He's got the kids driving.
No, not. He said, because once he got the trailer, I go, are you going to let any of the kids drive your truck with the trailer? He said, absolutely not. Not driving through the mountains of West Virginia and everything like that.
I've never driven a truck with a trailer.
That's embarrassing. Don't ever admit that publicly again.
Are we on the air right now?
Yes.
Oh, never mind then. I do it all the time, Bob.
I had a friend of mine who works in construction. And when we go down to our place at the river, we have to go drop the boat in. And I'm teaching my son how to drive.
Oh.
But I'm teaching him how to drive a car. And in doing that, I'm teaching him how to drive the boat. Because I'm like, dude, you backing up a trailer, that's like grad school level of driving, okay? Maybe we're getting to PhD. My brother could back up a trailer in a figure 8. I mean, it's insane. He could do it probably blindfolded and drunk too. He's so fast at it. Like, he's the guy that could take it in 90-degree, turn it, back it into a driveway with like 2 things on each side and not even worry about it. And so I was trying to, my friend came down, I was like, perfect. Now when I drop the boat in, I don't have to back the trailer, get the boat out, drive the boat across, and then drive around, run around, and pick the car up and pull it out. And my buddy was like, I was like, you can back. He's like, actually, I've never really driven a car with a trailer on it. I'm like, dude, you've never pulled a trailer before? Like, so, well, I pulled some jet skis to Florida one time. I'm like, man, that is ridiculous. I guess growing up on the farm, we'd always have trucks and trailers, like all the time.
I put the things on top of the car and drove.
That doesn't count. So Schlegs is not going to let his son do it because driving through the mountains with the trailer on would be very tough for a 17, 18-year-old kid. So that's got me juiced with him doing that. I think, heading to Philly today. We'll see. Kellen wasn't feeling well yesterday and last night. If he's not feeling well, we're not going because I'm not driving all the way over there to sit there and watch him not play. So we'll figure that out here. If not, I'll be juiced to be in Philly or I'll be juiced to be here. Either way, it's going to be a good time. And then also, I stumbled on this little Mr. David Goggins nugget. And let's fire that up, Shark.
I will tell you this, Joe. You will never in life meet a hater do better than you.
That's a fact.
Ever.
Oh, Rihanna.
I love Rihanna. But
I love that song.
It's a great song, but that's also the truth. Nobody tears you down that is doing better than you. People generally above you want to see you succeed. It's everybody below who wants to pull you down. And so when I heard that, I was like, you know what? That's brief, it's succinct, but it's very, very true words of advice. Shark, which Schlegs got to say?
I'm very intentional when I speak to people, especially whether it's about business or standard operating procedures or this type of process, because I've been in that situation. I'm just different.
He is very different. We know all about boosters endowing college athletes with scholarships. Here's something new. An endowment for a coach.
Well, there is an endowment for an athletic director here.
Yes. Mike Wilcox is an alumnus of Bowling Green State University. He is also CEO of Toledo-based Wilcox Sports Management. He and his wife, Jan, have donated $2 million to establish the endowment. Eddie George is the Falcons' head football coach. He will be the inaugural Mike and Jan Wilcox head football coach at BGSU. Don't call him Heisman winner Eddie George. He's now the Mike and Jan Wilcox head football coach, Eddie George. How about that? If you missed Today in History last hour at the top of the show, it is National Ice Cream Day. My favorite, coffee ice cream. What about
Mom
you
loves
boys?
coffee yogurt. My favorite ice cream, I enjoy cookie dough. I like a good chocolate chip, like Oreo. I also like the Moose Trag. If you can ever get some peanut butter and the the Reese's cups smattered throughout, I like that as well.
I like a vanilla with a caramel syrup on it.
Oh yeah,
I like that. That's pretty
Like
good.
a vanilla bean, a Breyer's vanilla bean is really good.
Pretty good.
And then the final thing that has me juiced today, I'm going to hold this up for our YouTube viewers. Tito brought in this book. It was written in 1985, about 75.
Looks like he stole it from a public library too.
It's Peter Gammon's Beyond the Sixth Game.
Show him that barcode.
I bought it used. It was on Amazon.
I mean,
Or stole it
it's
from a
yellow
library.
and weathered.
Yes.
And
Sticky.
I'm so excited about
sticky
reading this.
I
thing.
enjoyed reading the book, but not
don't
that
be
much.
as excited about as Thidoff was.
I read it 7 or 8 times.
I might have to put on some rubber gloves to read it, but I thank you so much, Tito.
Of course,
sir.
You
mean so much to me today, and you really have me juiced.
That's good to hear. Bobby,
yeah.
My plans, not that I'd be able to retire. My plans for retirement, though, probably won't be able to happen.
Yeah,
what I would
'cause you
love
have
to do.
You have a child who's 10 years old. No, 9, 8.
He'll be 9 in October.
You got a long way to go.
Thank you very much. I don't think I'm not reminded of that
Shark
every day.
has a grandchild that's a senior in high school.
Yeah, but I don't have to pay for her college.
That's true.
College, when Artie's 18, college is going to be like $75,000 a year.
And I hope Heather marries somebody with a lot of money because I'll be dead by then. But like I always wanted to retire and take one of those big old RVs across the country and visit. And the problem is I can't drive it. Like I'd be afraid to drive something like that, like a camper kind of thing. I would be afraid to drive it. And whoever, Heather would have to drive it. But it's
fairly emasculating, but it's
I know it is. No, it's okay. I'll admit it.
I agree. I'd like to try that sometime. Jan would never go for it.
Why?
There's no.
It's luxury. It's a luxury coach life.
She's give me a hotel room.
Yeah.
Have you
and
seen
a
how
nice
nice some of those
shower.
are, though?
I know it. I agree. Now the problem I might have is I can't afford it because you get about 8 miles to the gallon.
Oh yeah.
And it would cost you a couple $100 to fill it up.
We go to a friend's house out in Canal, Winchester, and we sleep in their camper that's out there. It's a really nice, like 2 bedrooms and all this stuff, 2 bathrooms. It's really nice. And I thought to myself,
real nice, Clark.
Could you imagine me? I could not even imagine driving that thing.
No, especially in the wind.
Oh, yeah. I'd much rather be sitting in the back watching TV.
Courtney and I literally had this conversation driving down Lane Avenue, and she's like, how would one of those coach buses or like a motor coach, she's like, how would they drive down these lanes? I'm like, very carefully, because they're not very wide.
I've brushed side view mirrors far too often when I've been driving. Join us Friday night for the Blue Jackets draft special on The Fan. Bob McGillicuddy and Dylan Tyre will be live from Nationwide Arena as the Jackets look to add some exciting new talent to the lineup. It all starts Friday at 6. The Blue Jackets draft special, sponsored by Ohio Health, only on The Fan, Ohio sports destination. And one more thing, Rothman and Ice are going to be out for the 2025 Beat the Heat Fan Drive. They'll be live from Westerville Fire Station at 400 West Main Street. Ask you to help a neighbor in need. Bring a new box fan to donate. And as a thank you, the first 100 people who drop off a fan will receive a pair of tickets to the Cardale Jones charity softball game at Huntington Park on July 19th. Help Central Ohio stay cool this summer. Did I miss something?
It's
the Beat the Heat Wave Fan Drive in partnership with 10 TV, Life Carolines, and the Fan Ohio Sports Destination.
Aaron put in the chat, Tito is aging in dog years.
Oh.
No way he sees anything but the inside of a pine box 25 years from now.
You're going to get buried or cremated. What are you guys going to do?
The descriptive nature of what
it's not
he's
funny.
saying.
We're talking about a man's mortality here. A coworker.
It's no joke.
Hey, look, I think that's accurate. But I'll probably want to get cremated. Do you guys have an opinion on that? Not me being cremated, the two of you.
That's a good question. I don't know if I'm going to be
I told my kids
I'll
I
leave
want
it up to Jan.
I want a Viking funeral. And I told them that. I said, build on my parents' pond that's not very large. I drift to the other side before it was over, stack about $1 million in cash, and then I want it to all burn with me. So there'll be real tears at the funeral.
I know what Heather's going to do. That hole she's been digging in the backyard, she's going to roll me into that and then cover me up. That's all it's going to be for me. AJ Hawk, next. Morning Juice.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Bobby played for the Dallas Cowboys. Tito wears assless chaps. I'm dead sexy. You're locked into Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. Final segment of the week. We saved the best for last. Here we go.
A man with many career achievements. Leading tackler in Centerville football history. Leading tackler in Green Bay Packers history. Still afraid of Larry Knopfsinger. And the crowning achievement, the third member of the Island Boys, AJ Hawk.
AJ, I'm going to do this live with you instead of texting you. I'm not even going to ask Bobby. I'm just going to ask you first. Are you coming on next week for the 4th of July?
Oh, get out of here.
That's a good question. I might be able to. I might be out of town, but I might be able to come in. Why? Are you guys are you not in studio? Are you?
Yeah, we're doing a studio. Yeah. I was gonna ask you what your 4th of July plans are if you're not gonna be on the phone with us, but I didn't know if you would. That's why I was trying to get that out of the way. Productive.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate you asking. I haven't thought that far ahead, but we might be taking a little trip. But even if we do take a trip, it's possible I'll be able to call in. I think. Perfect.
We heard Carlos Loughlin talk earlier. He was on Bobby and Schleg's podcast, and Bobby mentioned he was the running backs coach and wide receivers coach are kind of the hardest ones because you've got one ball and all these guys that can do it. as far as linebackers coach, what did a linebackers coach or what has a linebackers coach taught you that stuck with you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, each different linebacker coach you have, I think you hopefully take something from each of them. But I know, especially in my time at Ohio State with Luke Fickell, I mean, I learned so much from Luke. Luke was like and Bobby, we talked about it yesterday. Like you go watch James Laurinaitis coach linebacker individual. It's like watching a mini Luke Fickell out there. Like the terminology he uses, like how his presence, how he coaches him, what he says. Like it's very similar to how Luke used to coach us. But if you think about it, like linebacker coach is tough, especially say you're playing like a 4-3 defense. You got three inside backers that you're coaching. Every single play you watch in practice, you have to coach all three guys, and all three guys have backups and third stringers, and you have all these dudes you're coaching, and you can't really. They're all so different. You kind of have to figure out how to coach each guy. So it's not easy. But Luke, everything about him, like I take with me. But Luke taught me early on, like how to use my hands, how to strike blockers, how to like block destruction is what they call it now. A lot of times, I don't think we were calling it that back then. But how to use your hands and how to never let anyone get their hands on you and block you. And Luke would always give us those little nuggets that he learned from growing up wrestling and, 3-time state champ wrestler, all of that stuff, because I didn't do that. I was a basketball guy, so wrestling was so foreign to me at the time. But Luke, I still use stuff every single day that Luke was telling me.
How about your guy, Matt Burke?
Oh, man, what an awesome – he was linebacker coach for me in Cincinnati. I know you had him in Detroit. That guy's amazing. He is like, like the – Ivy League educated kid that's a super tough guy as well. Like you don't get those guys a whole lot. Like super smart dude, but doesn't have to show it to you and doesn't have to tell you, but can command a room. Like when I went to Cincinnati, my linebacker room. I remember the first day, Ray Malaluga, Vontez Burfict. I mean, just an awesome crew. Just like dudes that like to hit, like to run, and like to hit. And then we always had some young guys mixed in there that were always, making a scene, and he knew how to command the room. Like I remember we had a small little linebacker room there where we watch our practices, and man, he would come in sometimes and he just knew how to handle guys. Like he knew if something happened in practice, there's a little dust up, a little fight, how to get his guys back, but also stand up for us. Like just an awesome dude. And then in pregame, Bob, I'm sure you remember in pregame, the dude would be so jacked. He would jump up sometimes and headbutt us, and he would turn into a different human. I remember for our individual warm-ups before the games, before he would go up to the box and yell at us over the headset when we come on the sidelines.
AJ Hawk joins us here. Outside of your rookie season, did you ever enjoy a preseason game?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I probably enjoyed them more as I got older because my rookie year, I still remember my first preseason game ever.
Nervous.
We went out to San Diego and playing the Chargers, and Antonio Gates, like I remember like probably the first or second series, I'm walked out covering Antonio Gates 1-on-1, and I was like, man, like this seems like a tall task, and the dude put like. I was like, oh, I got this. Here we go. And the dude put like 6 moves on me in like a tiny little space, caught a little like stick route, little 5-yard route that he turned into 18 yards on me before I was able to jump on his leg and help drag him to the ground. And I do remember him telling me he started to coach me up right there. He had to know I was a rookie or something. He's like, hey man, you gotta watch like my core, watch my hip. Don't be going with all my head fakes and shoulder fakes. And he was like coaching me up on the field. Like it was a funny moment. I was just so embarrassed at how easy he made it look to get open on me. But I started to enjoy him as I got older because like we played a game in Kansas City once, and our D coordinator, it was our 4th preseason game. Sometimes teams didn't dress, but I remember Dom Capers said, hey, if you go out there and you get a stop in that first series, if you go 3 and out, you're done for the day. Yeah. And so we were highly, highly motivated. First play of the game, quarterback checks to like a ball on the outside. Tremont Williams, our corner, picks it off, and we celebrated like we won the Super Bowl. We were in one play, so our starting defense played one play, and we mobbed him and celebrated, and then boom, we were done for the rest of the night.
That's amazing. What are the 4th of July plans that we have? Like, what are we going to get into?
Yeah, like you, Bob, we'll just sports and everything right now, but we might take a trip. We like to go up to the northeast part of America, you know, like especially around 4th of July. I cannot imagine a better time to go than that. But yeah, we'll see. We're trying to craft everything around what sports schedules might look like.
You're telling me you guys have games after on the 4th of July weekend?
Not on there, no. Oh yeah, we definitely do on that weekend, no question. But we're deciding whether we're going to miss them or not. But yeah, it's not on the actual 4th. We have stuff all surrounding that. But I'm okay. We're okay pulling kids out of things if we need to. But it's 4th of July.
Always been a pull-out champ.
Yeah, well, it's America's birthday, Bob. We got to be. We understand.
Speaking of America's birthday, AJ, I need you on board with me on this one.
Ooh.
We changed the name of July 4th. We just call it unilaterally Independence Day. And we always have it on a Friday. The Friday closest to July 4th. Always have it. So it's right leading to the weekend. Now, Bobby and Shark are both communists. They don't like that idea. How do you feel about it?
Man, I'm kind of torn on the idea. I like the part about Friday and leading into the weekend. I mean, every holiday, that would be nice if that's how it all played out. But just, it's going to take hundreds and hundreds of years, though, for us to get over, to not just say the 4th of July or July 4th. You know, like, obviously we know it's Independence Day. I think you got a tall task ahead of you, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's going to work, but I do like the brainstorm. I mean, that's how great things come about. You got to throw them out there. That's not a terrible idea. I don't mind it, but I just don't know if it'll catch on.
Bobby, the fact he said not a terrible idea, I count that as a win for me. That's a check mark in the win column.
Anything that's not atrocious, Titoff will claim as a victory. So he claims Vietnam as a win, basically, is what he says.
We won it in overtime, didn't we?
No, we won it in overtime, exactly. Age, we were talking about this. Buried or cremated for yourself?
Man, these are great. These are other things that I go back and forth with, too. I used to think buried all day, like, hey, who knows what could happen? What if they could juice me back up eventually and dig me up?
So wait, hold up. You might be the full Frozen is what you're telling me. Like,
yeah, see, the Frozen thing, I've heard Ted Williams' head is frozen, all that stuff. I've heard all the stories, and I've seen the videos, like, people cryo-freeze themselves. I don't know about that. Like, I think I don't. That's not really my plan. But cremation too is a weird thing to me. The older I get, the more I think about it. I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I really want that either. So I think as of now, I would lean towards being buried. But I do feel like it takes up valuable space on Earth, especially when the graveyards are situated on the water with the waterfront view. I'm like, man, I don't think we don't need graveyards with the waterfront view. But I'm still waffling on that, actually, Bob. I really am.
Okay. And so, the natural lead-in for that is, before we get you out of here, and we've probably talked about this before. I mean, will there ever be a concern in your life that you think Laura might be microdosing you with something that will help expedite that process into the kiln or the pine box?
Ooh. There may be moments here and there where I've thought that, or I will think that. But ultimately,
do you ever switch drinks with her at times just to see her reaction?
Yeah, when I switch drinks with her, she instantly just throws it into the dumpster. Like, she fires it over her shoulder because she knows she don't want to die because she's trying to poison me. No, I don't think that, because I joke with her sometimes. You know, like, it's the old Dwight Schrute, well, if I'm dead, you have been dead for weeks. Like, that whole line. So she's used that on me multiple times when I joke with her. So no, I think there's a I don't think I'm being poisoned. If I am, she's doing a great job. I can't taste it. I can't feel it. I feel great. So she's doing a phenomenal job, and she needs to write a book on it if I end up dying in, however many years she's trying to do it.
Well, I heard the first sign of mercury poisoning is your back starts to go out. So just keep yourself healthy.
Don't give me anxiety, Bob. I'm going to think about that when I'm trying to sleep tonight. I don't know.
AJ, what I did, I took a video of myself on my phone and sent it to my closest friends. It was like, hey, if you're reading this, I must be dead. Make sure you do a thorough investigation, because if this happened one time and she threatened to kill me, this happened one time. So I just make sure that there's some kind of justice done out there. Real quick now, the 1776 obviously was the 4th of July and all that stuff when it all started, everything. Anyway, I could drop you in any era, not as a football player, just as a person. What era would you want to live in?
Man, maybe, honestly, I want to go back to I want to go back and have some duels. I want to have a pistol on my hip, and I want to settle something. We're in a saloon drinking whiskey. We get in a little argument. We go outside and we settle it, and in a straight. I sit there with my 6-shooter, and I'm the quickest gun in the West. I want to go back to that time.
I love it. Doc Holliday over here.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, thanks for the time. Look, you can let us know next week. Let me know on Thursday night if you're coming on Friday. We'd love to have you. If we don't talk to you, have a wonderful holiday.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Best segment of the week right there, AJ Hawk.
Yep. And Mr. Mike is doing a great job for us. I just wanted to get that poison. I feel like Laura might have that in her where she could just slowly microdose him over weeks, months, years, and I'd see him slowly fading. And, it's important to change the drinks every now and then.
I feel like if I was around in the 1776 era as an adult and was expected to...
You would have been Benedict Arnold?
No. I would have been... I think I would have been one of the early casualties.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Meat shield out there.
I think that I would... I don't think I'd last long.
Well, would you rather be the first man of the 100 to fight the gorilla, or the last man with Bonnie Blue?
What's Bonnie Blue?
Look that up, both of you guys. It'll be a good one for you.
Shark, you don't know what that reference is?
No.
Okay, good. Then I don't feel as stupid.
I know what Blue Bunny is. Blue Bunny.
What is that?
Ice cream.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Blue Bunny had a voice. Thank you so much for tuning in all week, folks. We appreciate it. Thank you, AJ Hawk, Chad from WeWinYouWin.com. Thank you, Bobby. Shark, it's the last time I can thank you for a long week of working together. You were great as always, folks. Make sure you tune in on Monday. We got 2 days left for Shark. This is Morning Juice.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seen